Valentine's Day, my lovelies. Seriously. What the duck? Holy crap. What was that? Alright. If you're new to my channel, welcome in. After last night in the Nancy Guthrie case, we've got to try to unswirl all this. It's like a milkshake trying to unmix a milkshake. Nobody arrested. Nobody in custody. After all that, Dolly saw something horrible. Dolly Vision. I feel very bad for him. True crime is rough. It's very heavy energy, and it can leave you in a place you don't want to be, right? So you have to take days off sometimes to just recharge, clear your energy. All right, so let me see if we can sort some of this out. I'm trying not to say what I'm thinking. But I have a problem. I have a problem with it after last night. After a mother and a son are taken out of their place, and then there's nothing to it, right? I just have a problem with that. Now, the brother was allegedly, now I'm going off of Brian Inton. That's my source. Check him out. Brian Inton just made a statement less than an hour ago that there were no arrests, that it was a man and a woman. He heard that they were mother and son, that there was a traffic stop near Culver's, not at Culver's, but we'll get into Culver's, that there was a traffic stop there with the white van, and that he believed was the brother to the mother and the son. And then there was, which now people are believing is unrelated to all of this, at Culver's, something went down where, and they towed the Rover. Okay, so the Land Rover. The police, like, tarped or, blocked off with a secure sheet and went into the trunk and then towed the Rover. A lot of us believe, because of what Dolly saw, that something happened bad, like substantially. But that's not being spoke about. So there was a rumor that someone ran away from this whole SWAT that was taking place, and that they went to Culver's and offed, self-deleted, because we have to be careful on YouTube what we say. All right, you guys. What the? First of all, I love you, JLR. Thank you, Dolly. I love you, Dolly. I love you, PJ. I love you guys for being boots on the ground to show us all this. Because if we hadn't seen it with our own eyes, I can't. So there's a lot more information than just that. But I'm holding back to the end to talk to you about something else that I feel is very, very important. But I'm holding it off to the end because then it'll get through our guidelines. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're going to have to follow me. If you know what I'm saying at the end of this, then you're going to have a lot of questions. I'm going to be talking in a language of true crime so that the algorithm doesn't pick up what I'm talking about then. Okay? So in other words, at the end of this, stay tuned because I have something to show you that is disturbing. And it has my mind just going like this. But we're going to be talking about all kinds. I don't even know. Like, ransom was Googled how many times before in the Tucson area before Nancy went missing. We're going to be talking about the crimes in the area that are happening. And these are teenagers, and it's almost identical to what happened in Nancy, only they got caught. We're going to talk about this drawing, the drawing, that a retired forensic artist has drawn and shared with everybody. See what you think on that. Do you think it could be the suspect? She's using the person that's in the mask, and she's recreating his face off that. Okay. I will say the dogs barked right when I said it. I'm going to be touching on a subject that is very much in the news. I'll put it this way. There are connections that allegedly are being listed in the Epsom salt files. See how we're going to talk? That are directly connected to allegedly Savannah's husband. And I'm looking at this going, what in the hell's going on? Because remember, the political agenda right now appears to be like a cleansing of anybody that's not supposed to be here legally. All right? I'm not in it at all. I don't want to hear it. That's not my business. I don't care. To me, politics and politicians, not my game. Crime, my game. That's what I look at. So when the two cross, it puts me in a peculiar place. And I'm going to be going into the Epsom salt files a little bit, just touching on it. But then we're going to be doing the Epsom salt files in a reading tomorrow, because I'm starting to think there is more of an agenda to this. Do you notice how like it goes hand in hand with who they're swatting, and it doesn't pan out? And the first guy, it was because they said something about my eyes. And we were like, what? All right, they kicked the door in, the whole family, everybody's like, oh my God. They're like, look at the suspect. It's like he almost was guilty before he even got a chance to be like, but I wasn't there. I don't know if I even welcomed you to 1111 True Crime. So if I didn't welcome in, this is an off day. I'm in True Crime. There are times when we get limited sleep. I am not complaining. I had my own bed to sleep in. Nancy Guthrie did not. Nor did Dolly. Nor did JLR. They were in motels. They're hotels. Whatever. So I am not complaining. I'm just saying if I'm a little off today, a little sluggish, it's because we're all trying to digest this entire thing. Hello to my lovely live audience. We're going to be bringing your thoughts into the mix. I'll be posting some of your comments. If you want your comment posted, just put, let me think, the word post in all caps. P-O-S-T, post. I'll read it. If it's something I feel we should share, I'll share it. All right. Welcome to my lovely replay crew. You guys have been incredible. You've been hyping it. Both live and replay are hitting like, subscribing. You guys are pushing this channel through the roof, and we appreciate that. There might be a few of you that don't like what the subject matter is, so trigger warning as we go forward. This is True Crime, and we are on day 14. Before we get into the heavy duty of the trigger warning, I would like to lightheartedly, from the top of my heart to the bottom of my heart, wish you the very, very best Valentine's Day. And that's, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I want it to be the best day ever. It could be a lot better for a lot of us if they would find Nancy Guthrie. So before I go over and show you what everybody else wants to talk about, I have to kind of share something. Let me make this clear with my little puffy mic here. Who is literally searching the desert for a recovery, of Nancy Guthrie? Do you guys remember how searches go? You know, everything we did before Nancy Guthrie's case when someone was missing or abducted. We looked for them. We have all these people with drones that are just circling the house. Like flies on sugar. Get it out there, guys. Get those drones up in the air. I want them over the desert. I want you to get in your car. I want you to search for Miss Nancy, because I believe this has been a recovery the whole time. I'm just throwing it out there. I'll give you my reasons why I now feel that way. I didn't, but now as time has passed, we're into 2 weeks. This lady is frail. She has a lack of medicine, to our knowledge, and there was blood outside, and if there was blood outside, I'm just going to call her my girl, because I think she's awesome, Ashley Banfield. I think you're doing an amazing job. Hats off, my love. Has stated her sources revealed that there was blood in the home. And to me, I believe there would be a lot more blood in the home than out of the home. I'm just saying. So damage occurred in some fashion, or you don't believe. So things were already looking negative and scary within the first hours. We're 2 weeks out, lovelies. And I don't want to break your heart, so trigger warning. If this individual's with an S, if these individuals, multiple people, I do not believe in a one-man theory. There's no way you're ever going to sell me on it. I don't care what judge, jury, nothing ever says. This is more than one person. They carried the woman out, in my opinion. These people, if this wasn't a ransom, which that didn't pan out, we had no proof of life. So if it was a real ransom, we would have seen that notice right away, in my opinion, not 4 days afterthought. So there was nothing for 4 days. You have a frail woman that everybody is thinking hour by hour, oh my God, I hope she's okay. I don't know how long she can hold on. This is going to be so traumatic. What have they done to her? That puts automatic question in everybody's heart. Is she still alive? Why would you pay the ransom? So forth. So if this is a real kidnapping, maybe you don't, but I feel, let me put it that way. I'd like to know how you feel. Lucky's barking. Lucky, we don't need a hall monitor. Get out of the window. He's watching. It's a warm day. I live by a park. People come down here walking their dogs, and my dog wants to make sure and let me know if anybody passes our driveway. I can't yell at him and be like, quiet. I just can't do that to my dogs because I've done the opposite. I've trained them to bark. So, because I want to know when somebody comes to my house. Anyway, that all being said, if this was a true ransom, why didn't it come within the first 24 to maybe 48 hours? Why was there not proof of life? If you're going to ransom someone, you know who they are. You've done your research. You know there's money. Or you're not going to take some. You're not going to go to a poor family and take their family member and be like, $6 million. You ain't going to do it. So you've researched the person. So if it's a ransom, you take their medicine. I think not taking the medicine is the biggest clue there is that this wasn't no ransom in the first place. That this entire crime may have gotten hijacked by some international bullshitters trying to make the best opportunity out of this bad situation and then laugh about it if they pull it off. So now I'm looking at this a little bit more as if, could this have been And this is where I'm going to give my trigger warning, and I'm just doing it. Exit now, exit left if you can't handle it, because this is going to get deep. You got your warning, and I love you, but I'm in true crime, and I've got to have the ability to understand the real evidence in the case and the lack thereof. Not taking the medicine is evidence that they didn't care if she survived, in theory. So, if it wasn't a ransom, if it wasn't a kidnapping, it's still an abduction. But they're taking the woman with them. Why? See, if it was just an assassination, kind of like take them out execution, and it was cartel, we wouldn't have the bozo on the porch with the pew-pew right over his junk. You had your trigger warning. He almost looked like somebody was like, hey, we're going to film you as if you're the guy. So we're going to put you in a costume, and we want you to act stupid and pull weeds and shit. And like, let's kind of, this is the stereotypical kind of like, illegal alien kind of person. Like, you could be in the gang. Let's put it right in the front. Let's gang move. Right? I got my pew-pew right here. Okay? It was almost like they planted this image of some stereotypical bullshit. Only made it so absurd with him going over and get the, the pussy willows or the flowers. And he's like tickling the camera. Doesn't care if he's seen, tickling the camera. Ashley Banfield's like, is he using the vine to try to get in between there to pop that off? You're telling me in that heavy-ass backpack, he didn't bring a screwdriver? He didn't bring any tools that'll help him get rid of the camera? This is all off. All of this is off. The fact that we have the footage, and that's crystal clear, not from a potato camera, something's up. Something is so off with this entire thing. But we're going to play around for now. We'll play around. We'll go ahead. We'll go with this for a little bit further. But I need you to really think hard as you go forward. What if this was never a kidnapping? Wouldn't they be looking for her physically? They were so adamant to let us know, there's not a chance in the world that she could have wandered off in the desert. As if to say, don't go look in the desert, it's a waste of time. No, for me, that's exactly where somebody that wanted rid of a body would go to. Because then you got the circling vultures that take care of a lot of the evidential issues. And if they didn't take her medicine and it's not a ransom, and the ransom was never paid, and there was no proof of life, then we have a completely different crime on our hands. And the fact is that they didn't leave Nancy behind. They didn't take action and then leave her to be found. So my problem then becomes is, were they not going to commit a crime there that left their DNA in a physical altercation? Because their DNA would be either in CODIS, or even if it's familiar DNA, it's in the wrong place, like your blood and her blood or whatever. You see what I'm saying? You can't get away with that. But it's like they're so focused on this stereotypical guy when honestly that mask to me doesn't look like it doesn't look Latino to me. Maybe it does to you. but they're all like making all these busts that amount to nothing and disrupting the entire neighborhood. I get it's an urgent thing, but you'd think that they would have checked out the person's alibi first. Like done some, soul work. In other words, put the sole of their shoe on the ground and gone to a place of work, pulled them out, detained them right there and then, put them in the car, take them uptown, and why do we need every Fed for all this? Aren't you putting, if this person is truly kidnapped and in a hostage situation, waiting till the person's home? Doesn't that put them, I don't know. All right. I'm frustrated, y'all. Last night was hard on us. Jolly Brown says, Mama D, in my opinion, I think that the NG camera was used for the ransom. Could that be possible? I have no idea, sweetheart. That's a good question. Why didn't law enforcement organize volunteers to search? Thank you, beauty, from our Lord's estate. We've got all these people sitting on the victim's property, or right outside of it, I should say, on the street. And almost every one of them have a drone. And not one drone is being used to grid search in a radius in the air. Every expert we're hearing that says these people that are walking, these FBI agents and the sheriff's agents that are walking the little grid search, they know they ain't looking for a body. No, they're not looking for Nancy. They're looking for evidence. So I began to think about this. It's almost like they're like gonna play Jack-in-the-Box every night with us. Like, oh, let's pop into this house. You got pretty eyes. Come with me, big boy. You're a new suspect for the next hour and a half. It'll keep everybody busy, everybody distracted. And in the meantime, we like your eyes. We want to see if your eyes match this. And it's like, okay, so if that, I know, I sound like I told y'all it was going to be completely off for me today. All right, I'm going to shut up, right? No proof of life to get the ransom. Why? Margaret Wilder, get drones and dogs out there. Thank you. Where the hell? I'm going to go Chris Proudfoot on us right now from Sebastian Rogers' case, the stepdaddy. All right, who I think personally, in my humble opinion, is suspicious hell when it comes to his stepson. But let's do it. Where the hell are the dogs? Where are the dogs? You know, who let the dogs out? Get the searchers. Sent dogs. If you're clocking just within 2 miles, do you think that if you had used the dogs the first time, they might lead you right towards someone's door? I'm just disgusted right now. And we got the FBI and we got the sheriff all like, no, you can't touch my evidence. Is it your evidence? We got Trump in this. Why the hell is Trump over here going, well, yeah, well, at first they're the ones that took it over. They're running the show. And then we had this guy come in, the FBI, and they're really good, but they didn't want to let go of it. And so now, why does Trump give a crap about a squabble between a county and this? Why has he made this something that he can put his opinion on? Something's up. See, it's like he protests too much. Doth protest too much. Too involved. Too watchy, looky going on. Fingers in the pie. There's something wrong with that. Well, We've got all this ice, baby, going on. Meanwhile, it starts heating up over here in Minneapolis and St. Paul and all these places in Minnesota, the hot spot for this crap, and all the other locations in Minnesota, and they're pew-pewing people. And then all of a sudden, this happens. So I don't know what's going on, but I think Trump's got a lot on his plate right now. And I'm getting suspicious as to why he's so invested in this. Why is this getting such national, incredible coverage? And why are the feds like breaking down everybody's door with a federal warrant, federal warrant? That's what we're finding out, that these are federal judges having to sign off on these warrants. These are not sheriff warrants. So something's going on. McCarthy says it's been 2 weeks, no searches for Nancy, and only searches for clues and clues of suspects. And it's like we've been in a fog, right? Beauty from Our Lord's Estate says, I agree, inheritance motive. Who benefits if Nancy is deceased? Kidnapping scam to throw suspicions away from certain family members? Question. I like that you're thinking. Choo-choo. This isn't what we think is hidden agenda, distraction. That's what I'm thinking. Blame the sheriff. He is a dingbat. He can't even talk right. He's a strange man. But is that what they're doing to us? We have a dingbat sheriff, right? You're saying, in your opinion. We have feds that apparently now have opinions that they share about other law enforcements. That doesn't happen in other cases. The feds don't talk. Feds are talking now. Last night was bizarre from the people out there filming on YouTube. Yes, Tress. It was crazy. Posts, there are so many psychic mediums that have locations to check out. People need to just go and look. And it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to follow up. She's somewhere. Let's figure out who did it after you got the body, where there'll be DNA. How about that? I'm sorry, I told you, trigger warning. I believe it's a recovery. We're on day 14. 2 weeks. You said linear? Sheriff has a big ego? I don't know if that's true, McCarthy. I don't know who Nancy's caretaker was. Yes, Annie is only 5'4" to 5'5". And so she doesn't meet the criteria of the masked man who is being put out from 5'9" inches to 5'10" inches. So it's not Annie on the front porch. Absolute Results says, I think the mob boss from WH, who has buried others, is behind this journalistic intimidation to redirect the energy away from him. Sadly, DJT used Savannah to derail the U.S. and worldwide public. So if you don't know, we're talking about WH is a building. Happens to be at our Capitol. I don't think he has anything to do. I really don't, says Margaret. Might not. Might not. I'm thinking this is something else. It is on the Epsom salt files. That's what this has to do with, in my opinion. Litho Tamara. Hi everyone, I don't usually type in chat, just want to say that this whole case is weird. Maybe money laundering, create a sign is saying. Gail Kernley says, I'm 71, I've never heard of anything like this. Poor lady. I pray they find her. They're not going to find Nancy until they search for her. That's the fact. Nancy will not be found until they search for her. So who's going to be the first one that goes and starts using their drone to look for this poor woman. Now let's get into what some of these, Mama D, I listed you last night and you got a lot of great points in your reading. Oh, you listened. Oh, thank you, Michelle. All right, you guys. I told you it wouldn't be like any other day. I'm tired today too. I'm also very opinionated, right?
Hey guys, I'm outside Nancy Guthrie's house. It's actually raining here now. The first time it's rained since
this is from yesterday morning.
It was 2 weeks ago. We had to get like a little tent out here. But I wanted to give you guys the latest. TMZ is now reporting that they have received another letter just within the last couple of hours from, and they're calling the person a man, from the man who has sent the previous emails from the same email. But this time TMZ is saying that the person is asking for $100,000, that they want $50,000 up front and then $50,000 later after this person is apparently arrested. They are claiming that they have information on who the Nancy Guthrie kidnapper is, and they're also claiming that they have information on Nancy Guthrie's condition, although TMZ isn't releasing that part. Obviously, TMZ says they have sent all of this information to the FBI. I'm not sure what to make of these TMZ letters. I mean, is it just someone looking for attention, or is it legit? TMZ says the person wrote in the email that they're going to TMZ because they want a sort of a middleman between them and law enforcement because they don't trust law enforcement. So that's the latest. Again, this is the scene outside Nancy Guthrie's house, and I'll keep you guys posted with everything else that develops.
Hold the phone. Let's just wait. There's more to that. So Harvey lets go on TMZ that it also says in the letter by the same author, not only does he want 50 up front and then 50 after all this, and he knows the name of the captor, he knows the prime person, the prime, right? The one. And that he knows her condition and where she is and all that. And if we pay him, blah, blah, blah. But he screws up. Because he says, be prepared to go international. Dude, we're looking for Nancy Guthrie. Who the hell got her on an airplane and flew her out of the country? So we're looking for the person that's holding Nancy Guthrie, like with her. Nancy Guthrie didn't leave the interstate. She didn't leave into international waters. She's still on U.S. soil. She would... Come on now. Come on. It's not a kidnapping. This guy waits almost 2 weeks to come out and talk the last 3 or 4 days on how he needs a little bit of money, a little bit of money. And they are taking it serious. They're taking it very, very, very serious. What are your feelings? Michelle says, we've done a lot of true crime cases, but this one is weird. Yes. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate listing that. Why didn't he show proof of life? There's zero proof of life from any of these people. Margaret Wilder says this person sending letters to TMZ is playing games. Whoever it is, it's awful. It's so sad. International, probably Mexico. I didn't think of that. She's right by the Mexico border. 171 sign in. You get the go. International would be Mexico. That's interesting. I know, Lanny, but I didn't think about it. You could drive with a white van to Mexico. They could have walked her or carried her to the border. That is close, though, right? Linda Beatty feels this is a distraction. If DJT buried Ivana at his golf course, if JDV picked up C. Kirk's BODY so fast in Utah, why would it be such a far stretch that he has taken her somewhere? Wow. Damn. Karen says, post. There was a small plane that took off at 4 a.m. on February 1st and flew into Mexico. Did they follow up on that, I wonder? Karen, can you send me in an email, please, mods, if you would be so kind? Drop my email in chat. Karen, could you possibly send me something hard copy on that? I'd like to see that. That's right, you don't need medication. I mean, you don't need a doctor in Mexico to get medication. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Tress says, cameras at intersections, stores, etc. So at that time of night, there wouldn't be that much traffic. True. Right. They don't trust the feds. That's why they're mailing it to TMZ. I never heard that. That Mexican cartels wear their pew-pews in front because it's easier to use. Wonder how many of them shoot their foot off. All right, you guys, I gotta get back over to share more with you. All right, so this is from FS Investigates, and he shares. I was reviewing data on certain search teams and the locations they were run from in Google. The search term ransom, R-A-N-S-O-M, in the Tucson area showed no activity over a 30-day period until January 31st, when 4 searches were recorded. When breaking out the location data within the Tucson area, it appears all 4 searches, possibly from the same person, were run in the Green Valley, which is south of Tucson. Then, of course, there is the spike in that search term after the news breaks that Nancy Guthrie may have been kidnapped for ransom. He goes on to say, I am no expert using this tool, but I believe it's a newer analysis tool, from Google. So I cannot say with certainty that I am interpreting the data 100% correctly, but the 31st data and Green Valley location is interesting. So go over to X, check out SF Investigates, and you can click on that map and make it a little bigger. Listen to this.
That important new clue, DNA from several gloves and other pieces of potential evidence that's now being compared to samples taken from associates of Nancy Guthrie.
In
these photos, courtesy of the New
DNA
York
in the
Post.
house.
The Pima County Sheriff confirmed the findings to ABC News.
You've got DNA, so that's of use. Now we have to go through and try to eliminate people or make people.
And it didn't match anybody that they had working with Nancy. It didn't match anybody in the family. All right, so let's get into this. I got to show you this drawing. Here's this drawing. Look at this.
A renowned forensic artist in Houston came out of retirement to try to help find Nancy Guthrie. Lois Gibson says she wasn't asked by police, but after seeing the FBI images, she felt she needed to sketch the masked figure in the case. And this is not an official sketch of the suspect, but she says she used features like the eyes and mustache from the FBI's photos. Gibson says she hopes her sketch will help bring Nancy Guthrie home.
Okay, first of all, what do you think? Bizarre, nothing was stolen, right, Tress? Nothing that we know of. Boys, you're fine. It's just a dog. I'll mute for a minute. Good gracious. This guy is still interesting to me. What do you think? I still find this dude very interesting. And I do agree with whoever that was yesterday that he picked something up that's a little heavier. Because when he turns right here, he steps funny. Like, I don't know what that is. Boys, stop it. It's just a dog. Yeah, I still find this video very strange. Okay. I don't know if I should share this, but I'm gonna. MIA over on X says breaking. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Go check her out, read on it, do your own research. I'm just going to share this. Savannah Guthrie's husband, Michael Feldman, founder of Glover Park Group and partner at FGS Global, is directly tied to huge global political influence firms named in the Epsom Salt files, including Bill, Al, and other relations with Epsom Salt, right? I'm just throwing it out there. That's what's going around. I find that interesting because I don't know how to prove if it is or isn't. It's time to look in the mountains, get the drones out. Right, Tress? Looks like that guy. Yeah, that's what I think he would look like. In my opinion, this has to do with Savannah reporting at the Olympics. Well, it is strange that now she can't go. I spoke to even said woman's eyes. Concerning certain files, maybe. Right, not an official sketch. Right, Jamie. Correct, lovely. She was going against pharmaceutical company for fraud. Interesting. Patty says BS. They do not even have the right name. Not Samantha. Yeah, I know. Well, maybe they changed it for protection. I don't know if it's true. I do know that I'm going to show you this over here. Just wanted to, let me grab the site for you. And we'll take this down. Let me adjust it because I want you to be able to see. We'll just go like this. Move it a little bit. So I looked it up. I'm like Michael Feldman and Epsom Salt, right? There is a lot of like speculation because he's a political advisor. But I don't know if it's true or not. I just find what's so concerning to me is that Trump keeps trying to put himself in this. And it's like, why? Why is he so involved in this? I don't get that. I just don't. Right. Wrote Samantha, not Savannah. I think it was done purposely so she shouldn't get sued. That's what I do know. The Zav 14, Savannah's hubby, worked for Clinton's. Correct. Now you're starting to understand what I'm saying. Linda says I have the article, it's true, and she was going to court with information. I don't know. I don't think it's Savannah is the nefarious one. No. I'm wondering if it put the spotlight on Nancy, because Savannah would be famous, it would get high coverage, it would be a huge distraction, and if they wanted to keep everybody busy, they're going to either use a baby or an elderly to do something in a political move to keep us from noticing that right now the Epsom Salt files are being almost fully exposed. There are very important people that are being unmasked, okay, at an extraordinary level. And so it's almost as if they've got to put plates in the air to cause this juggling scene. And that's what I'm wondering. Thank you, Michelle. Drawing looks like Dominic. If Dominic is a criminal, then he is on DJT's radar. A patsy gets called for a job, just like Thomas Crook and Tyler Robson, both patsies. Cup, oh cats, hello lovely. This goes way deeper than we can imagine right now. Yep. All right, you're talking about Nancy. Epsom salts has been reported found alive and living in Tel Aviv. I never thought he was dead. But that was me. And I'm not into politics, but I'm into true crime, and I do not like him. Sam, I am. And so I'm looking at Epsom salt a lot stronger. Our PM 69 times, our other PM before mentioned 20 times in files. I don't know what that means. You're over my head on that. PM. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. This case is a revenge crime inside. Could be. Very well could be. I don't think it's a ransom. I think somebody that's close to the family either wanted to benefit from it, or it was a takeout as a political target without being a direct target. An indirect political target. Oh, our Prime Minister here in Canada. Thank you. They don't have the death penalty in Arizona. Michelle says, please smash a thumbs up, show Mama D some love. Gotcha. Bam, common denominator, Epsom salt, Trump, Savannah, and her hubby. I'm just asking. I'm just saying. D.D. Jones, hello, lovely. So I'm confused what they're looking for, and why are they back at Nancy's? Why are they not looking for Nancy? You know, where you get that little map and you draw a radius and you start with search teams, right? They're not even like law enforcement. They're literal searchers and some law enforcement, and bring the dogs and the drones and work out. Have you ever seen a case like this where it's a missing person, truly, and they don't look for the person at all? And I get that you don't think she wandered out there, but by golly, she was in pretty shaky condition. And you're surrounded by desert and brush. So start looking for her. Use the helicopters, the drones, the dogs, the people. Boots on the ground doesn't just mean you bring your camera. It means you put your boots on the ground looking for the person. Just saying. And I'm no shot to anybody out there. I'm talking about, I'm not seeing anybody searching for Nancy, and that's a problem. W18ONU, because unlike most people, I am not going to jeopardize my channel when I know that gets you blocked. You can do what you want on your channel. You get your own channel, do it your way. I'll do mine. Right? You said that yourself. They took her for a reason, and she's not in the area. We don't know if she's in the area. She could be, for you guys, she could be within 2 miles of that house in the wilderness, and they haven't even looked. Don't you find that strange? I find that very peculiar. Why wouldn't you look? I don't know. That's a question I have for everybody. Why wouldn't you look? All right, my lovelies. I'm going to jump off here. Patty says, new podcasters, I heard make a comment. It's not their job to search for Nancy. Leave it to Ellie. So disgusting and sad. I'm not calling nobody out. because I can't go be boots on the ground, so I'm not calling anybody out. I'm saying, if you're out there and that's what you're saying you're doing, is you're literally using the words, I'm here to find Nancy, then go do it. Go look for her. You're not going to find her sitting in front of her house no more. We know that. She's not in the front yard. She ain't in the backyard. Nancy ain't anywhere on her property. Go find Nancy. Get in your car. Get your drones, get the dogs out there, get the search teams out there, get the maps, get the people ready, and get them out there to find Nancy. Because you're not going to find the woman sitting in a lawn chair, sitting in your car, standing on the pavement, staring at her house. Okay? Just, greatest sign says if you're not looking, it means they know where she is. How do they know where she is? All right, my lovely. I don't care if you love Trump or if you hate Trump. This isn't about politics. It's about crime. And the Epstein files is a massive crime against humanity. The Epstein files, SALT, is a crime against humanity. It ain't about no president. It's about innocence wickedly being smashed and destroyed. So don't get it mixed that I'm for or against any political figure. I'm saying, as these Epstein SALT files are getting opened, we're learning more and more and more about how many victims there are and how young they are and what has been done to them. And this is coming out more and more with connection to some very important people. And so, are they juggling the plates in the air with different things? And maybe this was somebody very close to Nancy committed a crime, and then there was this secret agenda to hijack it and blow it up. Because aren't they supposed to be finding Nancy? Wouldn't you search for her? You have complete control of all these. Basically, you could even call in, I don't know, National Guard to search at this point. You already got the president talking. So, yeah, goodbye. See you later. It's so childish to talk about innocence, isn't it? Being robbed, that's so childish. Good Lord, what a choice of words. I'm just telling you, if you ain't against child trafficking, you're for it. I said this was going to be a rough one. I gave you a warning. Yeah. That's right. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Don't let the door hit you in your ass. Hey, Magic. Oh, Maggie, sorry. Hi, lovely. All right, I've got to get off here. That's right. It's about finding Nancy and who did it and why. I will go with finding Nancy first. All right, my loves. I know it was a rough one today. I'm sure I'm not going to get many views. And I don't care. I got to get it out there. Got to say how I feel. Just got to do it. Got to do her. I love you guys. To the moon and back. I will see you if you are jumping over. If it's not your thing on pulling cards, skip the next step. Jump over with me if you are into pulling cards. We're going to be looking at what is going to be revealed. What are they keeping close to the vest? I know. You think, oh, that'll impede the investigation. Honey, there ain't nothing more impeding the investigation than their own issues that they're creating by saying that the sheriff and the feds are fighting and evidence is going all different places and it's going to be a nightmare at trial. So, yeah, at this point, I want to know what's tight to the vest. And after that, I'm going to hand over my questions to all of our private eyes who ask the best questions in the world. I'll see you. Well, it might be a little bit longer than 4 minutes, but it'll be really quick. I love you. as always. I'm thankful for the hypes, the likes. I'm just out of words. I'm that tired. The shares, I'm thankful for you because you're absolutely amazing. I mean that from the very bottom of my heart to the top of my heart, and I send you a ton of love. Bye for now.
From the dust I was born, to the dirt I shall return. When my eyes are closed, in the shadows, my enemy